What's up, tricksters and tricksetters, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review presented by our favorite Radiant coach, CHARLATAN Papito. Today, at our coaching table, we have Banana Tree 67 playing Sage on Ascent in a Gold 3 elo, but he currently reached Platinum 1, so this is going to be a Platinum 1 Sage VOD review. So let's see, what Banana Man has to say to us. So I started from Silver 1, and it wasn't too big of a problem to climb out of it, but I started to struggle more in Gold. Okay. Some issues. I don't think I look at the minimap enough or pay attention on what's going on. I just zone out sometimes. Okay, there's a training for that. We can fix that easily with some kind of a training. I started with Jet. Also, since you're already a sub on my Discord server, go in this tech channel here, ask the coach, and search for a forum called minimap blindness. There I have explained when you should look at the minimap, when you should not look at the minimap, and basically how you should, what are the cues for you to check the minimap, to gather that information. I started with Jet, but I really don't have a main agent. To be honest, I just cycle different agents by feel, and I don't know which agent to pick for what map. Listen, we're gonna see. We're gonna see based on your tracker what we can recommend you. But playing Sage in a Platinum 1 lobbies is a pain in the ass, to be honest. Literally, you're playing Valorant on a hard mode, essentially. And also, you're just not gonna improve as much as if you played some other characters that is not Sage, for an example. She's just way too static agent for that elo. Not a lot of outplays that you can do. Basically, these days, she's just a full support. Yes, we have these, grim walls that we can use to maybe, get some kills, cheesy kills and surprise the enemies. But most of the times, you're just a sitting duck. You will be unable to support your teammates that are super aggressive, and really not the best character in these lobbies. But we'll see. Throughout the VOD review, we'll see, how good are you mechanically, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And also, based on your tracker, we'll see, if there is some kind of an agent that really suits your playstyle and suits you in general. I feel like I'm getting destroyed when I get more and more Platinum players in my lobbies, and I'm about to fall back to Gold 2 soon. Edit, I actually hit Platinum a couple days after this VOD, but I'm back in Gold 3 now. Listen, as you're reaching new peak ranks, obviously you need to consistently improve yourself as a player. You'll be reaching different type of players as well, and playing against different type of players. And basically in Valorant, as you're going through different skill groups, you always need to adapt your playstyle and gameplay for 5, 10, 20, 30%. For an example, difference between a gold and a platinum player is not that much. In the worst case scenario, it's 10%. But, you need to get 10% better, essentially. Also, is there recommended color settings? Oftentimes, I struggle seeing enemies because they kind of blend with the maps. When it comes to colors in Valorant colors are extremely dull and extremely boring. Basically, number one recommendation I would give you is, no matter which monitor you have, upgrade the saturation or digital vibrance of that monitor for around 15 to 20%. Just go into NVIDIA control panel, basically, and, I personally play on 70%, which is a perfect spot for me, but you can just, play with that setting a bit. Valorant colors are really dull, really boring. It's really hard to spot enemies sometimes because of these boring colors, essentially. So I would highly advise you to actually, upgrade digital vibrance a bit. And when it comes to color recommendations, red is fine, yellow is fine, purple is definitely the worst. Because purple is way too dark in Valorant, and it is not that noticeable. From my experience, yellow works the best on most of the maps in Valorant. I would say 80% of the maps and 80% of scenarios, you will see the yellow color distinctively from other utility and other basically scenarios in the game. So just go with the yellow, you know, tweak your NVIDIA control panel settings a bit. And when it comes to the in-game settings, like, I would just recommend you to copy-paste this. Like, basically, material quality is shit to have, texture quality is also bad, detail quality low, UI quality low, vignette, you don't need it, VSync, you don't need it, anti-aliasing, none, anisotropy, like this anisotropy filtering, you can change a bit. You can maybe go 16x or 8x if you prefer, like, better rendering of objects, but it's really like up to you. Improve clarity on, beta experimental sharpening on, and everything else should be just off. Bloom, you know, it makes the outline colors pop a bit more. I mean, generally everything is a bit more bloomy, you know, like colors pop out more and flashes and shit like that. But bloom is also a bit of a competitive disadvantage because you know, abilities are also shining a bit more, such as Sova, Ultimate, Raise Nades, Raise Satchel, so you're losing a bit of visual clarity there. But when it comes to the raw color, I think that 80% of community is going to be completely fine with just playing with the yellow. And you should be testing the yellow color. Now, let me just drop this bubblegum. Ay. So, when it comes to his tracker, we're gonna take a look at his previous act, but first let's go at the performance. Like, he's a newcomer in this hellhole called Valorant, and to be honest, like, you know, reaching Platinum 1 in only 100 hours of playing Valorant with a 51% win rate, 125 KD, and 23% headshot ratio is above average. A lot. Highly above average, essentially. Like, this is a player that basically has a potential to reach Immortal in less than 2 or 3 weeks. With proper training, good agents to master, like, proper mindset. Like, this player, our brother Ziad, Banana Man, can easily get, like, Immortal, in my opinion, until, let's say, episode 10, act 2, for an example. Very good. I have nothing really to talk about here, like a newcomer to the game. Like, so this is all nice. When it comes to your overall performance, like, generally, sorry guys. Ooh. My throat is dying. When it comes to his overall performance, like, everything is pretty damn good. Everything is optimal. This is the player that, you know, there's absolutely no way you're gonna be Hearthstone in Platinum for more than a month, essentially. Like, with this level of performance, you should be able to reach Diamond and low Ascendant in a matter of weeks, essentially. Like, every single stat of yours is good, except KST. It can be a bit better, but it is not bad. It's, like, just slightly suboptimal for this elo. Your clutch percentage is also not bad, but it is suboptimal. Like, we can do something a bit better in those 1v1 and 1v2 scenarios. Like, a good clutch percentage number for low elo is like around 6%. 6%. So basically, 60% of your 1v1s and 1v2s you should be winning during a specific game. Everything else, like, I don't know, very good tracker. Like, I really don't know what to say. One thing that I will immediately say is, like, why the fuck are you even considering to play Sage? Like, this is just stupid. Like, to be honest, like, I don't know why would I even do a VOD review of you on Sage, like. But okay, I mean, let's do it. Let's see, like, what's happening in that specific match. Everything else is fine. Last deaths are also really good. 174 matches is really nice. Basically, this is how a proper tracker should look like. On defense, you struggle for some reason. Generally speaking, like in Valorant, ranked solo queue, like majority of your matches, you win or lose on a defender side. Like how you play defense in Valorant is around 20% more important compared to how you play on the attack. Because on defense, it is a lot easier to control the life of your allies. It's a lot easier to, predict where the enemies are gonna go and to try to counter them yourself. Like on defense, your performance needs to be like at least 10 or 15% better compared to the attacker side. Well, in your example, your attack is much better, like 15 to 20%. So if I was you, one thing that I would mainly focus on in the next 1, 2 or 3 months is fixing my defender side. Basically, like how I position myself, how I, reading the enemies, reading my allies, what type of utility usage you have, what type of fights you prioritize and how you take the fights and stuff like that. Everything else, like, there's a good tracker. Like, there's nothing to say about it. Like, really, really good tracker. Like, I like this a lot. I like this a lot. When it comes to the agents that you main, like, I really don't know why. I mean, Sage works for you, to be honest. Like, Sage works for you. But if I was you, like, fuck the Sage, bro. If you already want to play some kind of a Sentinel, I would just stick to mastering Cypher and Killjoy. Because Cypher and Killjoy are always going to be the meta. And once you reach Immortal, you will already have like 2 Sentinels that you completely mastered and that can be used on every single map in Valorant. Chamber is also a great pick. I just don't know, like, but on Chamber, like, what you suffer with when you're playing Chamber is your team play. Your team play needs to be a bit, like, I don't know what you're doing on Chamber, but your KST is significantly lower on Chamber compared to the other agents that you main. So on Chamber, like, we need to figure out a better way to fight with our allies, to take the fights, like, I just don't know what you're doing purely based on the tracker, obviously. And when it comes to duelists, like, I mean, in this elo, in low elo, the easiest agents to carry your games from Iron 1 and Ascendant 1, Omen, Jett, and Raze. Like, if Omen is not your shtick, you don't find a success with Omen, and I don't know, you don't have a time to master the Omen, or you don't want to bother with a controller, what I would do if I was you is the following. I would simply pick Jett and Raze as my main characters on every single map. Basically, in the current meta, like, obviously, on Sunset, Raze is a bit better, On Split, you can play both Jett and Raze equally. On Bind, you can play Raze and Jett equally. On Ascent, Jett a main character, Abyss, Jett main, Haven, Jett main, Pearl, Jett main. And you pick a Raze as a secondary main, or as a flex pick, and then you can add maybe like 2 more Sentinels to your roster, like Killjoy or Cypher, for an example. And then like maybe 1 Initiator, but I don't know, like you perform really well on Duelists, I mean on Jett specifically, and on the Sentinels, so fuck Initiators, to be honest. Like I don't know why would you bother with that. I don't know, man. Like if I was you, because it seems like you have much better mechanical skill than 80% of the players in these lobbies. Like I have no idea why would you bottleneck yourself by playing some static characters, like and characters that have low carry potential, such as Sage. Like Jett, Raze, Killjoy, Cypher, if you really want to play Killjoy and Cypher, and that's it. Like that's what I would do if I was you, of course. But we'll see like how you play the Sage. Like maybe you're a god tier Sage player, like who knows, like literally I have no idea until I see your tracker. But overall, like, this guy is slapping these lobbies, man. Like, this guy is slapping, man. But usually, you know, like, when I see this type of trackers of a player that is really, really good, and a player that basically has a really high ADR, really high KD, and headshot percentage, but the win rate is not reflected based on these statistics, that simply means that you're playing Valorant on a hard mode. Like, basically, you just need to simplify how you play the game, control the outcome of the rounds, and focus on only the most necessary shit that you need to do to win the rounds and win the games. Like, basically, with this ADR, this KD, this headshot percentage, this KST as well, you should have at least, like, I don't know, 55-60% win rate. But having 50, like, you're just not controlling the outcome of your rounds and games enough. And that's what that is what's fucking you up. You know, throughout the VOD review, we'll focus on this topic. Like, I'll be explaining, like, how to actually control the outcome of your rounds, when you should fight, when you should not fight, how to choose better and more optimal fights for yourself. But this is just stupid, man. Like, with these stats, being gold 3, platinum 1, with 50% win rate, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit, bro. Now, when it comes to the maps, like, on Haven, we're good. So you struggle on Icebox, but the Icebox is out. And on Bind, you struggled a lot. Listen, first thing I would advise you is that on Bind, Chamber is really poo-poo caca. I mean, he can work. He is not really the worst character on Bind, but just, he's a really underwhelming pick. Neon as well. Fuck the Neon on Bind. Like, what I would do if I was you, if you're already not finding success with Jet and Neon on Bind, like, instead of playing Chamber and these characters, try Raze maybe. You know, Raze is a very simple agent to carry in these lobbies. Try Omen, for an example. Omen is the best agent on Bind, with so many strategies, so many tactics, so many executes, so many outplays. Like, you don't even need to aim to win the rounds on Bind with Omensky. And when it comes to, like, Icebox, I mean, the map is out. Like, the only map in the current pool that you really struggle on is Bind. And on Bind, you need to find some kind of a better solution how you play that map. I mean, first thing I would instantly recommend you for Bind is, like, go to the rank playbook, go to the agent's guides right here, download the Bind videos for Jet, Omen, and other agents, see how you should play the map, apply those tips, rules, and strategies, and I don't know, like, with Jet, Omen, and Raze, you should be able to have, like, I don't know, 60% win rate on Bind, unless you get some really bad, you know, win rate doesn't matter. Like, when you're deciding on which map you kind of struggle, and on which map, like, you need to work on, you're not looking at the win rate. Because your win rate is also impacted by what type of teammates you get. You know, like, maybe you were just really unlucky, and those unwinnable matches, you only got on Bind. You know, 40% of games in Valorant, you simply cannot control. 40% of games are an auto loss, and that's why Valorant is a very grindy game. Like, not only that you need to follow a certain set of rules, strategies, tactics, tips, solutions, you also need to play Valorant a lot. A lot. But why I'm saying that Bind sucks for you is because you generally have a poor performance on Bind, like 103 KD. I mean, it's not bad, but if we compare your performance on Bind to other maps, it is significantly worse. So yeah, and when it comes to the new maps, like, Sunset is a bit of a problem. On Sunset, like, I don't know, with the new changes to Sunset, maybe I would play, like, Killjoy instead of the Cypher. Like, because Cypher is not as strong right now, because how they changed the B site. I mean, still, a Cypher is really good on the attack. That's the problem. I don't know, like, try on Sunset maybe playing, like, once again, raise. You know? Why not? Like, actually, I'm gonna give you, like, number one tip and number one reason why an average player in Valorant doesn't improve and why an average player stays hard stuck for a very long period of time. The number one reason why players in Valorant are hard stuck and why they don't improve, like why they don't breach their skill ceilings, is because they always play the game within their comfort zone and they never experience multiple stuff in this game. And this applies to everything, from your mechanical skill to playstyle to game knowledge. Like, if you truly want to grow fast as a player, like, you should consistently figure out new ways how you can breach your skill ceilings, how you can grow faster, developing your game knowledge faster, your mechanical skill faster. Like, maybe, you know, Cypher and Chamber are your, like, comfort picks on Sunset, but how are you gonna know if Raze maybe suits you if you never try Raze, for an example? That also applies to mechanical skill as well. Like, you know, a lot of the players in Valorant, they only stay with one sensitivity, for an example, and one grip style for a very long period of time. They never experiment to see if there's something else that suits them a bit better, or simply to grow mechanically as the players, and then their mechanical skill stagnates a lot. So, just as a newcomer to Valorant, like, don't chain yourself and focus yourself only on one specific playstyle, one specific thing that you do over and over again. Like, develop yourself, you know. This is the best moment of time for you to grow as a player. You just came at the game, you reached Platinum 1 in a very short period of time. You have a potential. Like, see what works the best for you. Experiment a bit with different agents on different maps. And in the next, like, 200, 300 hours, you will become more versatile. You will improve faster. And you will figure out what exactly works for you. Now, when it comes to, like, loadouts... okay, this act. I was like, what? Just a second. We need to check episode 9. Okay, I mean, like, in all of the rounds, you have a optimal performance, like, really nice. To be honest, the only concerning thing is KST in pistol rounds, but considering your KD, ADR, like, brother, like, with this performance, you should have reached, like, Diamond right now. Like, there's no way you have a 50.6% win rate with this level of performance. We need to see how you play the game. Like there's something fundamentally wrong in your gameplay that is stopping you to progress faster. When it comes to weapon versatility, bad. You know, way too many kills on Vandal compared to other weapons, especially as a new player in Valorant. Like, allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to grow. Like, don't only play one fucking weapon every single fucking round. Like, which weapon you buy, which weapon you play, depends on which agent you're playing, which map you're playing, which strategy you want to perform, what is the easiest way for you to win the round, to make the numbers advantage for your team, and that's it. Like, weapons that you play are not dictated by anything else. And if you truly want to have the easiest time possible to reach high elo lobbies, master variety of weapons that you can use for different scenarios. You know, give some love to Baki in some eco rounds on the defender side, even attacker side with a Jet maybe. Give some love to the Bulldog on maps such as long range maps, like as a half buy weapon maybe, or anti-eco weapon. Stinger, one of the best anti-eco and half buy weapons on claustrophobic and close range and mid range maps. Shorty, primary secondary weapon. Then Odin, maps made out of paper. Ascent, Lotus, Haven. Why not? If there's no other way for you to stop the enemy's push and counter them, pull out the Odin, you know. You're not gonna make a mistake. Judge, claustrophobic maps, obviously. Outlaw, one of the best anti-eco weapons on a defender's side. Whenever you see that 3 or more enemies have less than 3,800 credits, like they don't have money to purchase heavy shields. Buy the Outlaw, take some easy kills. Even if they have a heavy shield, 2 body shots, they're dead. 1 headshot, they're dead on any distance. And Operator, obviously, like, should be a weapon that everyone needs to master in Valorant. It's not that bad. You know, like, it's good. Like, you are testing different weapons. Just like, I think that instead of having 1,400 kills on Vandal, like, the amount of kills that you got on Operator, Outlaw, and other weapons could have been a bit higher, essentially. But overall, as I said, like, really good tracker. But you have some serious, fundamental mindset problems that you need to fix. Like how you actually play the game of Valorant. Because, as I said, based on this performance, this win rate is not good enough for these stats. You're either dying... We'll see. We'll see. But this is a classic tracker of a guy that is simply not controlling the outcome of their games and outcome of their rounds and has an improper mindset how to play Valorant. Okay, let's see what he's doing on Ascent with Sage. I really would have liked to see like maybe Jet from him, but I mean, let's see the Sage. He had like 70% win rate with Sage, so if that is his best agent, let's see how he does it. And of course, we'll figure out some kind of a training for you because... Ooh! Yo, Jose Jalapeno! Thank God for the tier 3 sub, man. 6 months in a row. Mwah! How was vacation? Not playing Valorant for 9 days is always good. Like, literally, like, 1 day of not playing Valorant is always good. Listen, man. Ziad, brother. Like, I think that if we nail down some kind of a training for you, if we nail down the way how you should play the game, like, you should be immortal in the following 2 to 3 months. This is really... I don't want to hype you up, you know? I hate doing that because then, like, you know, if you don't reach your goals, you're kind of sad, depressed, and shit like that. But this player is... For a very long time, we didn't have this type of a player. Submit the votes for the VOD review. Let's see what he's doing on Ascent. Okay, now let's see what our friend is doing on the defender side of Ascent. First of all, let's start with some TLDR of how you should play Ascent in ranked solo queue. First of all, this is a fast rotation map. What does that mean for you? That means that you value team play over the actual map control. That doesn't mean that you should be selling the map control for nothing, but on this map, it is completely fine to play a bit more, you know, reserved. Like, you don't need to risk your life too much to stop the enemy's push onto the bomb sites, and as long as you're playing together with your allies on a refrag potential, on a retake potential as well, you'll be totally fine. Remember that your default site and number 1 priority is A site, number 2 priority is B site. So whenever you have no idea where the hell enemies are gonna go, what the enemies are gonna do, gamble on A site and A short. But in reality, you don't give a shit that much about the A site and B site control. Like, essentially, you're never willing to lose your life trying to contest the enemies alone, unless you're playing some kind of an eco round, half by round, or you're in a numbers disadvantage. Now, on this map, you value the market control and the short control over anything else. If you lose the market, if you lose A short, the rounds become 10 times harder. At least, we should have some kind of an information whether or not enemies can be in the market or A short. And essentially, from the first full buy round on Ascent, on a defender side, you need to start contesting the enemies semi-aggressively in the main areas of the map. Like using various different peaks, strategies, setups to potentially get some kills and then slowly rotate back onto the bomb site. Like, you should never give all of this space for free. Never, essentially. We want to waste as much utility as possible from the enemy team before they commence some kind of an execute onto the bomb site. Now, when it comes to playing Sage in the first round, to be honest, like, I would only do one thing with a Sage. And that is basically wall playing a main area of the map. Like, essentially, just in the first round, on the enemy's footsteps, on the enemy's contact, wall the A main area of the map, play on top of the wall, and wait for the enemies to start breaking it. Once they start breaking it, try to triple shot them, try to kill 1 or 2 enemies, and then go down back onto the wall. When you're doing this wall, I highly recommend you to always leave a small gap right here. Because especially in low elo, in between Iron 1 and Diamond 3, Ascendant 1, players, I don't know, like, they behave towards these angles like they don't exist. So for an example, if you place an A main wall, slightly more towards yourself, and give yourself a small gap to play here, you might get kills. Like, angle clearing in low elo lobbies is very, very weak, very bad. And once the enemies see you maybe on one part of the wall, I don't know, people are just ignorant when it comes to these additional angles that you make with your utility. And that's the problem of these low elo and medium elo players as well. Personally, in the first round, like, aggressing the enemies in the main areas of the map is just stupid. Waste of utility, and it's really hard to stop their push in general, and it's a big of investment in gamble. Just play passively, try to use some cheesy strategy, and that's it. Cheese strategy. Now, bottom line is, first round, always play and gamble on the A side. If enemies are pushing you through A short, close the doors and focus only on A short defense with your allies. That's it. Now, let's see what our friend is gonna do and how he's actually playing the Sage Jeroni. Just a moment, I need to lower the volume here. Okay, now we're good. Okay, let's see what he's gonna do. I don't know, man, like, I really think that, on Ascent is a claustrophobic map. A lot of medium range, close range fights, small choke points. Like, on this map, if you're playing Sage, on both attackers and defender side, in a first round, you should buy the wall. Like, fuck the slow orbs. Wall is always more beneficial and better utility than slow orbs. And you don't need a ghost on Ascent. 80%, 90% of fights that you fight on Ascent are like medium range or close range fights. You don't need a ghost. Buy a classic light shield wall. Try to delay and stop the enemy's push as much as you can. Try to maybe fuck them up with some aggressive, grim wall play. If enemies don't push, A site, we can always use the wall for some crazy plays. To see over the smokes. Maybe try to bamboozle the enemies a bit. See them on the site, like, fuck them up, like, wall yourself up, stuff like that. Maybe push them with a wall, do a play like this, and then together with your allies, like, you can, if you're retaking B side, like, we can just wall the beam in. We don't need to worry about that area of the map at all. We go for a clean retake, that's it. Like, slow orbs are just, not efficient enough, and not good, I mean, it's a good piece of utility, just not efficient enough for the first round. On Ascent, at least. Very good. Very good that he's coming here in help of his teammates. Like, basically, the whole defender side of Ascent can be summarized, play on a refrag potential. Like, literally. And don't give the enemies the space, the free space in main areas of the maps, and your eyes should be glued to the minimap. Like, you consistently need to observe what your teammates are doing, where they're gonna take the first fights, what they're gonna fight, when they're gonna fight, and how you can support them. And that's the whole defender side of Ascent summarized. Because it's a fast rotation map.
55 feet. 55 feet.
Yeah. Okay. You can still win this. No problemo. Not bad. Not bad cross replacement for a gold 3 platinum 1 player, to be honest. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. We got to see some of your raw mechanics in this round. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. But as I said, like in a first round, I would always be ready to wall off aim and area the map. And in these low elo lobbies, like players are always, I mean not always, but 70-80% of times they're unaware of your positioning on top of the wall or around the wall, so those can be some easy kills for you. You know, this round you should have just done what I told you to do, and the round would have been maybe completely different. But okay, let's move on to the next round. Now, in the second round, no matter what happens in the first round, you always play on A short and A site. Always. If you win the first round, you can force the, you know, like outlaw with a light shield, maybe go for some aggressive peek towards the tiles, lock in and lock down the mid area of the map. And then if enemies are pushing A, go onto the rafters, support your teammates from rafters, and that's it. You can also buy the bulldog, judge, like it's a claustrophobic map, like any anti-eco weapon can work. You know, stinger, bulldog, outlaw, judge, the best weapons. Now, if you lose the first round, I would just go for a classic shorty play to trade myself for as many kills as possible. So, I would just buy a shorty here, buy a classic, play with my teammate. If my teammates are playing aggressively in the aim in area of the map, I'm gonna play semi-aggro with them, but I'm not gonna play too aggressive. I don't want to lose my life. And once the enemies are pushing in, just from this smoke here, from the enemy smoke, I'm gonna be popping out onto the enemy on switch. 50% of times, you're not gonna survive. 50% of times, you will survive. So, that's the best eco round play that you have, like on A side, to trade yourself for as many kills as possible. We're building our ultimate, damaging the enemy's economy, potentially allowing our teammates to have higher chances of winning this round. But in this round, buying a wall and buying the slorps and investing so much money into utility, like, just stupid. Buy a classic, buy a shorty, save the money for the heavy shield, for the, you know, like, next round, and that's it. Okay. This is a bit of a mistake. Now listen, yes, in Valorant, like, majority of times, you want to play with your teammates, and you want to play on a refrag potential. But when all of your teammates are retaking a bomb site through only one choke point, you need to play alone in some other choke point, essentially. So the best case scenario to explain these type of scenarios is the best example is this. So let's say there's 3 of you guys left on the retake of B site. Your Omen goes CT, Neon goes market. What do? You go B main. I'm just kidding. That you're mentally retarded if you do that. Like, you go either market or CT. Like, you try to connect with a teammate that you think is first gonna die, or that is more valuable for you. In this example, I would probably play with my Omen because he's more valuable because he has the smokes, paranoia, stuff like that. For an example. And also I'll play through the area of the map through which it is easier for me to path and to retake the bomb site. But if my Omen and Neon are both playing in the market, okay, they are playing on a refrag potential. And 2 players in the market is already too much. Like, 2 players going through such a small choke point. And going for a retake here where we don't have a CT control, B main, and side control, it's a suicide, essentially, if I go with them. That's why, in this example, we need to go CT. We need to fight for more map control, unfortunately. And if you need to do it alone, do it alone. It is totally fine in these type of examples. Like, basically here, 4 players going through the market. Just like, I mean, it's a suicide move. Like, we're going through a very small, narrow choke point. Like, we're just, you know, enemies are playing a tower defense at that point. You know, they're playing Burbrenong and shit like that. So yeah. And also remember, like, you know, your job in these full eco rounds, it is to win that round. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to win it. But your main job in these eco rounds is to trade yourself for as many kills as possible and get as many kills as possible. Like, damage the enemy's economy as much as you can, get as many ultimate points as you can, and you preserve your economy. So the first opportunity you have to take a kill, trade yourself, do it. You know, in these rounds, you should play like a monkey a bit more. I mean, not a mindless monkey, but the one that is doing the quizzes and, like, you know, experimental monkey, essentially, you know? Lab monkey. We have a problem in the chat. In Discord, where can I find the playbooks? Basically, listen. Okay, let's talk about that. So you join my Discord server. Just a second. We need to do a tutorial for this. One moment. You join my Discord server. Now, on my Discord server, you need to be at least tier 1 sub on Discord, and you can subscribe right here. Or you need to be a tier 1 sub on Twitch, or you need to be a YouTube member on my YouTube channel. Then you get an automatic role that unlocks some of these secret coaching channels for you. One of these channels is called Agent's Guides. That is my ranked playbook. Currently, in that playbook, I have explained how to play every single map in Valorant on a macro and micro level. We covered the Jet, we covered the Omen, and we covered the general guides for Yoru, Chamber, and Raze. Now, Omen is missing, I think, Pearl and Fracture. Pearl we're gonna do in November, and Fracture we're gonna do when the Fracture comes back. Now, Abyss we're gonna cover during November for both Jet and Omen, and we're gonna cover that map. Sunset Guides we're gonna make today. You know, basically the Sunset got changed. And Raze, Yoru, and Chamber, I'm gonna start making the map guides for these agents at the end of November and throughout the December. Like, until January, February, I need to finish, you know, Raze, Yoru, and the Chamber, because we're starting with the 6th agent soon. Probably Neon, Phoenix, Gecko, I don't know, some OP shit. And what you also need to do, you need to link your Discord account with your Twitch and YouTube account. If you're a Twitch subscriber or a YouTube subscriber, in the Discord settings, and that's it, basically. And you have the access to these channels as long as you have the sub. Now let's continue with the VOD review. Let's see what our sage friend is gonna do. Listen, like, whenever you're going for the retake of B site, like, always, but always check the B main area of the map before you path through the speedway. Always. Like, if none of your team has fully checked the B main area of the map, you should be the one doing that. This Reyna just glazed over that B main segment. Go deeper, clear it yourself, and then go for the retake. And this is the problem I was talking about. Right here. Like Clovis CT. We needed one guy in the CT. You know? We needed to pressure the enemies there. Anyways, you have a classic pistol. If the enemies push you, maybe with a triple shot you can gamble and kill them. Like, but going for the retake of B site only through market. That's a seppuku move, brother. Like full Sudoku. And also when you're going for the retake of B side through the speedway, and there is a chance for an enemy to kill you through the B main area of the map or from behind, don't spend too much time. Don't spend too much time in this speedway area of the map. Like try to drop down, try to engage the enemies as soon as possible, try to close the gap with them. Like this was way too much time spent in this area of the map. But okay. Now, the informazione that we have from the previous rounds is, in the first round, enemies went A. In the second round, enemies went B. Let's immediately use the AB rule of pushing to position ourselves. So, in this round, playing A short and A side, good idea. But in this round, enemies are bonus. You know, they're half buy. So we don't really need to aggress the enemies that much. You know, we can play a bit more reserved and a bit more passively. Let's see what our friend is gonna do. Listen, if you get revealed on A short when you're going for this play, you know, holding A short area of the map from this angle is always a suicide. It's way too, like, everybody pre-fires that angle, this angle, and it is not worth holding this position. It is much better holding the A short like this. Then we can just take a small fight, one tap, burst fire, reposition, and then maybe, you know, we can re-engage the enemies above the wall, try to take a kill, plus we fully wall off the A short area of the map. But if you get revealed in the process of getting onto this angle, get out. Don't even take the fight. Like, what you can do is this. You know, you can do this type of a wall. Try to pick the enemies from top of the wall. Ride the edge of your wall. So after a burst fire, after a short fight, after a kill, we can drop down with a knife out and position passively towards the A main area of the map. And that's it. If enemies are going through short or the wall is breaking, we can just hold this angle, wait for the enemies, try to kill them. When they're moving in, slow orb them. Maybe we can jiggle peek them, play with our teammates, that's it. But taking this fight here is, once again, a full Sudoku move. Especially in this round here. Like, you don't need to risk your life so much. Enemies are already at the... Like, basically, whenever enemies are eco, half by bonus, like, you should always dump down your playstyle to the raw refrag potential. Like, you just want to win this round based on the gun advantage that you have and playing together with your allies. Nothing else. So don't commit yourself too much to some solo fights. And this heal that he used here, I mean, like, brother, you healed yourself for 6 HP. You know. This is a complete waste. I mean, if you lost 20 HP, I would have healed myself 100%. But, like, you know, a threshold for self-heal is like, I would say like 20. You know, something like that. But healing yourself on 6 HP is just like, what? I mean, that's too low. I mean, 6 health points? Come on, man. You see, right now, your Jet has lost half of his health points. You could have fully healed your Jet, and the round becomes a bit easier. And this type of shit is something that you should never do in Valorant. Like, you should... Like, if you want to spray the enemies, through the smokes, through the walls. You only do that when the distance between you, wall or smoke, and an enemy is equal, or you're further away from that specific position, from that utility or that wall. If you're sitting inside of this smoke here, and you're spraying the enemies that are pushing through the aiming area of the map, like their headshot position can be anywhere. Like it is much, much harder for you to find the enemy's bodies right here than for the enemies to track your bullet tracers and to kill you inside of this smoke. The only time you should be doing this type of sprays is if you have a really good idea where the enemies are, you want to distract the enemies because your teammates can kill them, or we reveal the enemies with a Cypher, Dart, Recon ability, stuff like that. This was a Sudoku move. Again, you have a lot of Sudoku moves in your gameplay, man. Like, you need to chill down a bit, man. You need to play a bit smarter and a bit more efficient. Okay. Now here, like, we made another mistake. You know. Why are you peeking this? Like, you always need to adapt your place in Valorant based in what type of scenario you end up at that moment of time. Our Reyna died. We didn't refrag that Reyna. We are 4 versus 3. I cannot stand and fight on this position anymore. My teammates are still rotating. I have no one to fight with. I have 35 HP and a Vandal. If I die right now, chances are really high that my teammates are going to lose this round. Mega high. Gigantically high. Especially because the Phoenix has the ultimate. Here, we should just play passively. Wait a bit. Wait for the Phoenix to rotate. Play the retake with the Phoenix. Play the retake with the Jet and Clove. Don't rush out. Don't be an aggressive gorilla that has zero brain and that only see the blood in his eyes. Thank you. This peek here is mega dangerous. Like, you have no idea. Where one enemy can easily be below you, peeking you right now from the boxes. One enemy can be in the generator, peeking you right now. Like, this is too much of a gamble, doing this alone, with 35 HP. And this as well. Like, you never, ever, ever drop down from the tower position like this. Never. Never. Like, you always clear below yourself first, you know, this angle, and then you're always jumping to either on top of the generator, if you know 100% that enemies are on the gen, and you can just do this jump and try to fuck them up together with your allies, or you're jumping towards the right side and doing this. Like, you don't want to be in the line of sight of this guy and to create a crossfire for yourself between two angles. Where are the enemies, bro? You should have cleared under the site. I mean, personally, I have no idea where are Cypher and Phoenix. They can be anywhere. Let's clear under the site, and then we can focus on A main, A short, and tower. Okay? It's better to be safe rather than sorry. You know, how are you losing these informations, man? Like, but they can be short as well. What the fuck is this wall? Listen here. Instead of walling A main area of the map, what you should have walled is actually A short. Like, not only that we prevent enemies from killing us in this area of the map, but also you boost your Clove. And now Clove might have a good off angle to fuck up the enemies in short or to fuck up enemies going through Amen and Tower. And anyways, it is harder for enemies to isolate us in a 1v1 duels from the main area of the map instead of isolating 1v1 duels through the A short area of the map. Like Clove is stuck there. If enemies have a high pen weapon, they can just destroy that Clove, you know? Or maybe they can go for some jiggle peek, bam, that guy is dead. You know? But here, if I'm playing, let's say, backside, and Clove takes this fight, I can just swing out, easy crossfire, that's it. Like, let's see what's gonna happen. But I don't know, man. Like, we didn't clear bottom of the site. Okay, now we cleared it. Very good. And here, like, brother, I mean, we are 4 versus 1. Why the fuck are you hiding? Like, in this scenario, you're asking yourself, who should I play with? And the answer in this scenario is my Clove. She's alone. I need to hold the switch and A short together with Clove. Phoenix and Jet are holding Tower and Garden. Clove is alone. She can die at any moment of time. Like, where would I position myself here? Behind the generator, like this. So, if she takes a fight here, I'm ready to refrag her and take an easy kill. Personally, I would not even hold this angle. Why would I do that? Huh? Why would that be the first fight? The first contact? It's too early in a game. If I die right now, in the next round, I don't have a gun. And I highly doubt that my Platinum and Gold 3 teammates are gonna drop me any weapons. I value my life. I value my capabilities of carrying this match. So, I'm gonna hide behind this box, wait for the Clove to take the first contact, and then I fight. Also, listen, in low elo lobbies, I mean, generally, between Iron 1 and Immortal 3, so all the way up to Immortal 3, if you end up in a numbers advantage situation, 90% of times, you should be playing on the contact between enemies and your allies, and not vice versa. Like, you should avoid being the first contact in these type of scenarios, because only God knows if this type of a teammate and this player is gonna refrag you. Only God. No, not even God, to be honest, knows what this monkey ID4 meh is thinking. But you know what you're thinking. If Claw takes a fight, you're there. You're gonna go for a refrag. You're a good player. You know, you use your brain. So, yeah. Let's see this. And hunting for this last kill is just pointless. Like, I mean, I don't know why we would do that. Okay. This round we're playing B side. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. In the first round, enemies went A. Second round, B. Third round, they went A again. Okay. Good positioning. Good read. Now listen. I would recommend you, in the earlier stages of the game, when you're playing Sage, to try to use some cheesy setups, you know, to kill the enemies. Because in these lobbies below Ascendant 1, they work quite a lot, to be honest. Now, what I mean by cheesy setups, you know, leaving the gaps inside of the wall to pick the enemies and fuck them up. You know, for an example, you know, we can take this fight here, sure. You know, we can hold this angle as tight as our reaction time allows us to try to get a kill and then reposition. But then, when the enemies are coming, you know, we can do a wall like this, get behind the wall, do this and go back. Like, 80% of times, 90% of times, in the lobbies below Ascendant 1, players just don't have a mental capacity to think about all of these factors in these type of plays. Unless a player is a Sage main, essentially. Like, and whenever you're defending some main area of the map with your wall, you should always be adapting how you place your wall based on what enemies are doing and changing the setups to surprise the enemies. You know, one time we can do this wall here to peek the enemies from top of the wall and just do this and go back. Then, you know, with a shorty we can maybe camp here, wait for the enemies to push in. They clear this, maybe they're not gonna clear you in that corner. We take another kill. Then, second time, we widen up this angle to peek the enemies around the wall and surprise them. Then, another time what we can do is, like, once again, we can do a wall with some kind of a gap through which we can see the enemies. Like, for example, using a gap like this, and then going for a jiggle peek, going back. Always adapt your setups a bit and try to go for a various different peaks to surprise the enemies, because, you know, in these lobbies below Ascent 1, players are just full autopilot mode. Like 80% of players have their brains shut off when they're playing Valorant. Now here, okay, we can hold this angle like this in Platinum 1. Okay. Just I would recommend you, if you're holding that angle statically, hold it, you know, by hugging this wall. Although, pull yourself away from this position and do this to reduce angle perception advantage. Ba ba boo ba ba ba. Okay. Now for the A-set retakes, I mean, okay, sure, fine. We didn't have anything to do. Okay. Sure, fine. Literally nothing. Now listen. Whenever enemies have a Killjoy ultimate on Ascent, chances are 80% that the initial push of the enemies is gonna be on B side. An initial contact. Generally speaking, no matter what enemies do in this round, we need to fight aggressively for the B main control. And you need to tell your teammates to support you. Like, this ultimate of Killjoy is 2 times more dangerous than this ultimate on the A side. For you and your allies, especially for your teammates. Like, they can make so many mistakes on B. Now, how do we counter that ultimate in this example? I mean, we could have bought the Odin. Why not? To be honest, like, just buy the Odin, spam the ultimate, that's it. Because, you know, what I usually see is that gold players and platinum players, they still put the ultimate here and here. We can just easily spam that, destroy the ultimate, maybe take a kill, and that's it. Now, second option is telling your teammates to support you and going for some semi-aggressive play to maybe take 1 or 2 kills before we sell the map control. You know, like, tell the Phoenix to maybe give you the Molotov here, slow orb the enemies, and then, once again, we can maybe create some kind of a weird wall setup through which we can peek the enemies and fuck them up. Or we can just delay their push and try to kill them later. Or, even better, tell your Phoenix, come play with me in the B main. Enemies are pushing in. We do a fake wall. You go up. Your Phoenix goes down. Phoenix flashes the enemies here. You peek from top of the wall. Bop, bop, bop. We out. Good kill. Liked it a lot. Now, since we got a kill, to be honest, I would just get the fuck away. Not gonna lie. Like, what I would have done here, after that kill, is just a slow orb to delay their push a bit so I can, you know, get into the CT. Since they have the Killjoy ultimate, I need to play from the CT. I'm gonna heal myself. Ba ba boo ba ba ba. And then I'm gonna use a wall to go on top. Because from top of this wall, on this position, Killjoy ultimate doesn't touch you. You know, Killjoy is not gonna ult you. And even if the Killjoy ults you, like, you can just hide here. Wait for the enemies to push a bit. Over the enemy smoke, you can see the enemies there and kill them. Once the smoke disappears, you can just come up here. I mean, once the ultimate deploys, you can come up here, bop, bop, take the kills, and then go for the retake with your allies. That is how I would have played this specific scenario. That is a waste of a wall, because we cannot play on the site. It does nothing, essentially. Like that wall that we did right now. You know, they have the ultimate, they're pushing in, I cannot play on the site. That wall is not gonna delay their push, because anyways, they're waiting 10 seconds to execute a site. Waste of the wall. It would be much better in this example if you use the wall for some aggressive play. Now, this is what I was talking about. Look at the minimap. Enemy Killjoy position that ultimate. As far as I can see, that is on top of the box. Bad position. If you had the Odin, easy spam, you destroy the ultimate, slow orb the enemies, kill the enemies with the Odin. Through this wall, delay their push, that's it. Like, you know, you should be thinking about all of these options that you have, like. But that wall was really bad, man. Imagine right now if you did the play that I would have done. Do you think that these idiots would have expected you up here? There's just no fucking way. Like, there's just no fucking way. Like, literally. You would have gotten one more kill easily. Listen, one tip, when you're going for the retakes, always use your slow orbs to pressure the enemies and to make them stuck in some angles. You know, don't save your slow orbs ever. Here, for an example, you know, we're going for the retake of B site. That slow orb is bad, but what I would have done is, like, essentially, I would not even take this fight. I would just play it here, wait for my teammates to engage the enemies first. And then we can just throw this if the enemies are there, or this if the enemies are on site, and then we move in and we take the site control. Or we can throw that, enemies cannot peek us from the backside, we go in. You fucked yourself up here a bit. I mean, what was that? Slow orb the Cypher, he cannot peek right side anymore. Kobe! It should have been faster. Heal your teammates. We need... Listen, like, when you're playing agents with refreshable utilities, you need to track that utility. Here, healing your Jet or healing your Claw is mega beneficial to close out this round. Before you went for this kill on the Killjoy. We just made this round a bit harder than it should have been. But you need to play a bit smarter, as I said. You know, try to surprise the enemies with these wall plays. Put yourself on these elevated positions. Pay attention on the enemy's abilities, utility. Pay attention on all of the win conditions and win potentials that you have during a specific round. If you just bought the Odin this round, we could have stopped and killed the enemies before they even planted the spike. This round playing A site, good idea, I support it. Let's see what our friend is gonna do. In aiming areas of the map as well, I mean, you can consistently try to change your setups based on what type of team composition enemies have and what enemies are doing. You know, like, for an example, we can play around this wall. Here, on top of the wall, left, right, like, change your positions. What you can also do is, you can once again do a wall with a peak on the left side, do this shit, then when the enemies are destroying the wall, jiggle peek them, try to take a kill. Next time when you do that wall, we can go up, try to take a small fight, short kill. Like, play with it, essentially, you know, like, play with your setups a bit more. Don't only do the default shit. And when you're doing this wall in A-main, like, always try to leave a bit of the gap, as I said, here. Because I just, you know, when I'm coaching these players between Iron 1 and Ascendant 1, their angle clearing is like, you know how they're clearing the angles? Like, they're sweeping the floor, bro, like, with their crosser. I mean, basically just shit show all around. And listen, Ascent is a fast rotation map. Unless you have some kind of idea how you want to counter the enemies and, you know, enemies did something specific on a macro or micro level, you should be doing faster rotations to support your allies. Here, as soon as your Phoenix died, we should have started rotating through the CT to support our Jet as soon as possible. Reyna and Clove are already playing together on a refrag potential. My Jet is alone. My Jet has higher chances of dying. Even if the Jet dies, I have the ultimate, I can revive my Jet. Clove and Reyna, you know, they're already there, playing on a refrag potential. Jet is the one that I don't trust. Here we need to rotate with that. Okay, all three enemies are on B. Also, one more tip. Oh, how did I forget about this, man? Listen, bro. Like, when you're starting the round on the A side, like, don't start the round by placing this wall, unless you wanna do this wall to fight with your teammates on mid. So we have the cover there, and we have the information that enemies cannot be on the A side, and we can just commit to the mid fight. And sometimes, you know, you wanna do an instant wall if you're going for this type of a play. Like, you just wanna wall yourself off, make the enemies think that we are playing passively, and then play a bit more aggressively and try to, like, try to kill the enemies, you know? Like, this type of a play is usually the best. This type of a play you can use maximum one time in one or two times in a choke point. More than 2 times is too much. I mean, 2 times is probably too much already. But you can try this play, like, sometimes, why not? I mean, especially if the passive playstyle is not working for you, you know, like, you're trying to defend the bomb sets passively, why not? You know, especially in low elo lobbies, we might surprise the enemies. But if you don't want to go for these type of plays, so you're playing just passively, you don't want to do the wall here without getting any contact with the enemies. Like, you always want to start a round by jiggle picking this angle, getting the first contact, the info, or jiggle picking this. You know, basically, I'm ignoring the enemies there, and I'm placing my crosshair for this. So if the enemies peek me there, I can do this, fight that guy, go back. And I don't need to commit to this type of a fight. I get the info, and then I do some kind of a wall. Because if enemies are not pushing A side, and they're pushing B, once again, saving this wall is mega useful for me to surprise the enemies with a fast wall peek, to surprise, you know, to cut off one position from the enemies when I'm going for a retake, to maybe wall off the spike and defuse the spike. I don't know. Wall is, you need to use wall in a more efficient way and don't waste it, essentially. here for an example. You know, if we save this wall right now for the retake, we can just wall off this area of the map, the beam in, do the slow orb. So, how would I play this retake? Wall this, slow orb stairs, and play together with my teammates on Speedway. So what? You know, if the guy is there, he is fucked. We can play on a full refrag potential, and that's it. And we know that no one is CT because our jet went through the CT. Listen, man, like, it is okay that you didn't revive one of your teammates when you were going for this retake. We are 3 versus 1, we can still win this round without wasting a revive. But as soon as your Reyna died, here, you should have used a revive on the Reyna to bait out this Cypher and take an easy kill on the Cypher. Anyways, you saw a tripwire right here. You should have destroyed the tripwire first, revive the Reyna, and then go for the peak as the Reyna is being revived. And anyways, like when you're going for the retakes, like you need to focus on better team play, man. Like you're way too disconnected from your allies. Like you're not really following them properly to refrag them, and sometimes you are not the one that can be refragged. Like you need to sync your movement. Just pay more attention to your teammates when you're playing the retakes, when you're fighting the enemies, and sync your movement with their movement, and that's it. You'll be completely fine. Okay. Okay, it can work, maybe. I mean, listen, if your teammate is already peeking the beam and area of the map aggressively, I will not hold a slow orb here. I will just play with the Odin. And as soon as the jet gets the contact with an enemy in beam in, you know, on the minimap, you see already where are the enemies, and you can just easily spam, you know, enemies are here, okay, ba 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 ba. Enemies are here, ba 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 ba. I don't know why would you hold this low orb. For a second, I was like, is the guy reviving the Phoenix? Like, what the fuck is going on? Now listen, on the retakes, like, try to play more with your slow orbs, man. You know? Try to support your teammates even if you're not there to fight the enemies. Like, for example, here. Like, try to think about your utility in a bit more tri-dimensional way. You know, this is not only a passive utility to stop and delay the enemy's push. It is aggressive utility as well. Do this. Bam. Fuck him up. You know, sorry. Like, enemies cannot move here anymore. Really good slow orb. When you're going for the retakes so that I don't miss it. Like, I'm a dumb idiot that don't play Sage. But this is a really, really good slow orb to prevent the enemies from peeking that angle while we're clearing everything else. Then we can top it off again. Enemies cannot peek us from there while we're dropping down, clearing this area of the map. With a wall. You know, let's see. I'm gonna show you one example. So, we did this. We cleared the site, you know, all of these angles. We do it again. Do the wall here. Now, a retake is really easy. Enemies that are under are cooked completely. We can focus on the enemies on the site and enemies in A main. Round becomes 10 times easier. Of course, you know, with the wall you can also go for some of these fucking peaks, like, you know, above, like, sorry guys, I don't know these lineups, but I use the walls in a bit more, like, default way, but you can just watch the Grim and others like for those type of peaks. But this, for an example, is a mega efficient way to retake the A site. Mega efficient. And here, for example, once you revived your Reyna, drop the slow orb for the generator so that enemies are stuck there, and your Jet and Clove have easier time fighting the enemies. We have a smoke for aim in, wall off under the rafters, held position, round becomes easier. And instead of that, instead of using your utility, what you're doing, you're nothing. Nothing. I mean, sure, you got a kill there, but it would be much better if you just would... I don't know. Like, just... that was way too risky. No, we didn't clear the under again. Oh, listen, man. Listen. Just listen, bro. Like, I know we're in Platinum 1. I want you to write down this rule somewhere. I don't know. Tattoo it on your forehead. Actually, don't do that because then you don't see it. Just write it down somewhere. When you're going for the retakes or site executes, clear every single angle as if the enemies can be there and will be there. No matter how many of your teammates are going in front of you, no matter how much of recon utility you have, clear every fucking position where the enemies can be before we focus on defusing the spike or planting the spike or doing something else. You're going for the A set retake. Clear generator, clear under, A short, whatever. And then focus on the enemies in A main. It is so stupid losing the round like this. Only because the Phoenix, we didn't clear this position under. And the claw was there. Stupid. What rank is this Platinum 1? A bit of off topic, but what defines if map is a fast or slow rotation map? Bomb set designs and how big is the map, essentially. Are there any plans for releasing the Omen Abyss guide in the ranked playbook? Yeah, during November. That was such a stupid round, man. Such a stupid round. I mean, losing the round, like, look, if you lose the rounds in Valorant because you didn't clear some angle, deathmatch, custom server, focus on that in the next 2-3 weeks. Like, you don't trust anyone in Valorant. Your mother is playing with you and she's radiant. You don't trust your mother. You just don't trust her. You clear the angles, you clear the site, and then fight the enemies. Now, in this round, playing on B site again, I don't know. You know, to be honest, like, enemies are very... I mean, to be honest, like, enemies push B and then A. Like, there is a chance enemies are gonna go B. But in this round, what I would have bought and what I would have played is not really a Stinger and Shorty. I would have actually bought a Bucky and a Sheriff, which is a bit stronger option on claustrophobic maps such as, like, I mean, Stinger and Shorty is also good, but just, you know, surprising these idiots with a Bucky and Sheriff is so easy, for an example. And how I would have played this round, I would not start in the market. Once again, I would have started in the B-main area of the map. We can see on the minimap that our Phoenix is gonna fight the enemies in the B-main. Whenever you notice on Ascent that your teammates are fighting aggressively for some main area of the map, support them and fight with them. Like, you need to support them. If they die, the round becomes 10 times harder. So, I will start this round by playing here with the Sheriff. And if my Phoenix is pushing, I'm just gonna delay the enemy's push with a slow orb and that's it. Now, You know, here I would try to maybe get one kill, and then once again, with some weird wall, maybe try to get another kill. Then we hide here, enemies are pushing in, get another kill. Then we can hide on the speedway here, enemies are pushing in, another kill. Enemies are stairs, another kill. As I said, you know, it was a high chance that enemies are gonna push B set in this round because they pushed A, then B, then A. So yeah, they're kind of following still the AB rule of pushing. And listen, like, you know, if enemies are pushing B site and one of your teammates is playing from the site, don't play in the fucking market. Like, either rotate towards the CT, so you can, you know, basically, so you can cross towards the site with this wall and support your Phoenix into fighting the enemies, or, you know, slow orb the enemies and try to rotate towards your Phoenix as soon as possible. Enemies, we have a shorty, we have a stinger, we need to fight the enemies in the close range fights. But here we left that Phoenix way too early. Okay. So I mean, like, same shit as before, man. Like, why would you take this fight? Like, try to be a bit more unpredictable, you know? Like, we're 5 versus 3. You have a Stinger. I cannot really isolate a 50-50 duel with Stinger in this mid area of the map with 82 HP. Use your wall in a bit more creative way, you know, efficiently. Like, try to fuck up the enemies, make them think, make them guess where you are at that moment of time. You know? Like, here, for example, you could have boosted both yourself and your Reyna on top of this wall, and then we together go for some kind of a peek. I don't know, maybe. Or simply use the wall so we can reposition. Don't fight the enemies. I don't need to fight anyone. My job is done. Even though I didn't do any job. Why it is done? It's 5 versus 3. Reyna is very low HP. You have only 82 HP. Why would we continue fighting here? You need to have like you need to develop these stopping points in your gameplay, where like when you create a certain scenario or a certain numbers advantage, you're just like, fuck it, I'm not paid to do more than this, and just dumb down your gameplay to a raw refresh potential and playing with the rest of your allies. It was just stupid to isolate that fight and especially peek first because Reyna is mega low. Plus you're playing Sage, we could have waited like maybe 20 seconds to heal the Reyna, you know? And then we have a Reyna with 100 HP. And the round becomes easier, and look at this shit. Well, just look at this shenanigan of a round. But this is a crazy round, what I'm looking right here. If these are the type of teammates you get, you need to stay alive. I even started singing, bro, like from this pain, man, that I'm watching here. Now listen, if 2 of your teammates are buying, actually 3 of your teammates are forcing, you force with them. Actually, I don't know what Reyna is gonna buy. Okay, I mean, we can go with the Sheriff, to be honest, like whatever. Now in this round here, I would have definitely played on the A side. Because in the previous round, we completely stopped and delayed the enemy's push on B. And in this round, we can use the rule of fear. Chances are much higher that enemies are gonna push A set instead of the B side. Because, you know, general players' mentality in Valorant is like, oh, our push didn't work one time. Let's change it up and let's go let's do something else. And to be honest, in this round, once again, I would have bought the Sheriff and Bucky. Because, like, basically, it's very easy baiting the enemies in the close-range gunfights when you showcase them that you have a pistol, you know? Like, for example, how I would have played this round. First of all, I would have once again, I would have done everything exactly the same as I've explained in the previous round. When he had a Stinger and Shorty. You know, baiting for my Phoenix, trying to get a kill maybe, slowing the enemies down a bit, then doing this wall to bait for my Phoenix again. When my Phoenix gets a contact, I peek out, I try to take one more kill, then we can hide here, kill one more enemy, then we go back, kill one more enemy, we can maybe slow up the enemies to the speedway, focus on the stairs, kill one more enemy, and that's it. Instead of isolating this stupid 1v1 gunfight from the stairs that everyone in Valorant is ready for, and you're just relying on your raw mechanical skill to kill the enemies. Especially in eco rounds, semi rounds, halberd rounds. You need to be more creative. I know you're playing Sage, but even with Sage you can be fucking creative. Like, we have a lot of these grim walls, like, where you can boost yourself, surprise the enemies with a peek. Like, I mean, on these two angles, even if you don't have any grim walls, you can just surprise the enemies by doing random you know, random peaks, like, above the enemy smoke, killing the enemy that is going there, for an example, using the wall here. Like, you don't need to learn any lineups for that. You're just playing in a very boring way. You know, that's something that's that's fucking you up. You're purely relying on your raw mechanical skill to carry. And this looks very boring, to be honest. I don't even know how you have a 70% win rate with Sage. You could take much more efficient and easier fights if you just become slightly more creative. Creativity in Valorant is kind of like everything. It's really important. Because creativity is how you win the rounds in games. Like, raw mechanical skill doesn't matter at all. And at a certain point, it stops to matter even more. You know, at high levels, like Immortal 3 Radiant, like, everything is fucking, you know, everyone is the same. Everyone is good mechanically, like, you cannot just rely on your raw mechanics to win the matches. Game knowledge, decision making, and team play, and adaptiveness are the 4 key factors that will carry you from Immortal 3 to Radiant, for an example. And especially in these low elo lobbies where people, you know, their awareness, their expectations are, you know, they just don't expect this type of plays at all. Okay. One thing that I like in his gameplay is that his crosshair placement is good for a Platinum 1 player. His movement is also okay. Good for a Platinum 1 player. His angle holding is also okay, good for a Platinum 1 player. So, mechanical aspects of the games are good for you. But creativity is lacking. Better gun versatility is lacking. You know? You're just trying to brute force your way towards Radiant. And that's not gonna work most of the time. Because based on this gameplay, you're not Scream, you know? Maybe you can become, but I don't know what is your skill ceiling, mechanical skill ceiling at Platinum 1 level, but yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah. Good fight. Ooh, okay, better. Okay. This retake, I mean, once again, you know, we should have done the slow orb for the generator. Then, this fight that we have taken with a Cypher, good fight, refrag potential. I don't know how we were unaware that last enemy is below us, because that's where the race spammed us from. Okay, you know, not a bad retake. Okay, chances are really high that enemies are gonna push B site. I think we're gonna meet the same problems. Oh, they're going mid. Listen, if this happens for you, like, you hear a lot of the footsteps in the mid link. Enemies are either splitting the B site, or they're just contesting your teammates on mid. If I'm playing Sage, in this example, I would instantly wall off the B main area of the map, rotate market, and support the Clove and Reyna. Fuck it. You know, wall will delay and stop the enemy's push through B main for like 40 seconds, 30 seconds. And during that, you know, this contact is definitely gonna happen. And I don't wanna I don't want my Clove and Reyna to die. You should have completely ignored the B-main defense, because you heard enormous amount of footsteps in the mid link area of the map. Like, you should have just walled B-main instantly, leave that area of the map open, finish the fights on mid, and then go back to guard the B site. Ascent, Sunset, Pearl. Like, then, sorry, like, my brain is fried. Like, what other maps we have? Like, Fracture. And Split. On these 5 maps. Feel free to play a bit faster rotations. Prioritize team play. And prioritize fighting the fights that your teammates are fighting. Good. Okay, Cypher was like somewhere in B. Oh, no. Like, listen, instead of holding this Cypher right now, after your team has made these solo mistakes, like this guy died alone, I run, Forest. I run. Like, here I will be running towards my Jet to play with her on a refrag potential. I don't give a fuck where the Cypher is gonna plant the spike and where he's gonna go. As long as we play together, we win this round. And it would be great if you don't use the ultimate to win a 2v1. Okay. 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 Now in this round, playing this strategy is a bit of a problem because they have a Raze ultimate. Like, you know, it's a huge chance we're gonna die here. Plus you have the ultimate yourself. In this round, I would have played a bit more reserved. Play, you know, with some kind of a grim wall, essentially, to surprise the enemies. Like in the CT, on the bomb site, probably from the CT, just like, I would just play some elevated position, try to dodge the Raze ultimate, kill 1 or 2 enemies, and just play the retake with my allies. I have the ultimate, you know. We also have a bit of an economy advantage in this round. I don't know why would, you know. Here alone, you're probably gonna take 1 kill and just die. Against the Raze with ult. If Raze is ever gonna use the ultimate. What? Why Raze didn't use the ultimate, man, to push in? Okay. I mean, sometimes I can appreciate the confidence, you know? And I appreciate that you tried to, like, play on a trigger discipline. Maybe you could have, like, taken 2 easier kills if you baited the Raze a bit more and waited for Raze to, like, you know, clear more angles. But it's okay. To be honest, like, a bit unnecessary aggression and stuff like that. Like, we could have just waited for 2 of our teammates to go behind them and then finish them together, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyways, his raw mechanical skill is his strongest point. One thing I don't get is, why the fuck are you playing Sage? I mean, like that's the first thing I was like asking myself when I looked at your tracker. Like, why? But okay. We'll see. Like, we'll talk about your main agents once we see what you're doing on the attacker side. But considering how boringly you play the defense, you know, it's gonna be interesting watching your attack. Okay. Let's see what our friend Sage is doing on the attacker side of Ascent and what he can do a bit better. So, first of all, TLDR of Ascent on an attacker side. Your default bomb site, number 1 priority, is A site. Number 2 priority, B site. Generally speaking, in the earlier stages of the game, it is a bit better if you prioritize your pushes towards A site instead of touching the B site. Like, B site should be like a last you know, our secondary priority. Because in the B main area of the map and B site, your teammates can make so many mistakes that you cannot compensate, and it is a lot harder regaining the map control from B main compared to regaining the map control from A main area of the map. Like, you know, this wall is fully spammable. Your teammates can die from arrows, utility, shit like that. We don't want to do that, essentially. But how you push on this map completely depends on the enemy's team composition. In this VOD, enemies have 2 sentinels. Dos polos hermanos. We cannot do A push. We cannot do B push in the first round. We can do A split and B split. Like, immediately from the first round, we need to fight and start fighting for the mid area of the map. Like, against this team composition, going for the clean 5-man pushes through A main and B main area of the map in the first 3 to 4 rounds, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be mega interesting. Like, immediately in the first round here, we're either doing a 1-4 split onto the B side through market. You play in mid with a spike, that's it. Or we need to do a 2-3 split onto the A side through A short. Spike goes A main, you go A short. But let's say that in this match, because we muted all of our teammates, you know, we're not communicating, our teammates want to go B. What can we do? To be honest, like, in the first round, I would immediately try to do the Sage wall play in the B main area of the map and try to get the kills. Like, that's probably the best way for you to support your allies early on, and maybe surprise the enemies in these low elo lobbies, if you're already pushing the B site. And I would just buy a classic pistol once again. Light shield wall. We take the B main area of the map in a safe way, bait our teammates a bit, play a refrag, and let's go for the wall play. And let's try to pick the enemies apart from top of the wall. If we're not finding any kills and our teammates are moving in, we just drop down and move together with our allies. Like, there's no way that I would do anything else in the first round in this low elo. Now, in medium and high elo, you know, probably I would go for some kind of a different play where we wall off something, or maybe I would even buy slow orbs to deny the space from the enemy team and to push together with my allies. But in this low elo, like, this should work like 70-80% of the time. And please, for the love of God, the worst rounds in which you can be AFK is the first round and when enemies are eco or hull by. Don't do that, man. Don't do it. We're way too slow. I don't know what we're doing. Our jet is in. We're gonna lose this round. We're gonna lose this round. We need to move in. Jet is in. We need to clear. This is what I'm talking about. Brother, I am pushing B side. So Charlatan is pushing B side. I have a horde of teammates in front of myself. Like a fucking undead army in front of me. 100 teammates are pushing here. I am checking this angle. Checking this position. This position. This. Myself. I'm not pushing face forward. I am methodically clearing the angles one at a time. And I don't trust, especially in low elo lobbies, nobody. When we were pushing through this smoke, because we already have smokes for CT, smokes for market, logs are cleared because Jet was looking there, and the switch is cleared. I'm clearing the speedway first, placing my crosshair towards the stairs, and then pushing through speedway with my allies. And if you already wanted to do that slow orb, you cannot do that slow orb as you're getting out of the smoke. Pick up slow orb, do it, and then pick up the gun, go in. Now here, we need to clear the whole site. Who knows? Maybe there's one enemy camping at the backside. Let's check it. Not bad. It could have been better. We should have cleared the left. You know, when you're clearing the backside, please don't move in like this. Like first clear the left angles, and now do this. Now, because we are in the numbers disadvantage, we need to play more aggressive. We cannot just play on sight, wait for the enemies to stomp us. So what do we do here? We go onto speedway. We try to reach this angle slowly and silently before the enemies start pushing us. We hide here. Enemies are pressing a W key. We try to get a kill. Then we're dropping down, and then we're isolating another fight. And then another fight. If you just stand here, or God forbid, we go in the boathouse, you pull out the Bible, Quran, and, you know, RNG gods, help us. You don't need a coach at that point, like. So the play that Jet was going for is actually not bad. Just she's bad because she missed the shot. But in these type of scenarios, like, you're forced to play more aggro. Especially if you're playing a specific round with a semi-automatic weapons, which are pistols. Like, it is impossible for you to kill 4 enemies when they're pinching you from multiple sides. Like, you don't have a spraying option, like spray transfer, shit like that. Like, it's a lot harder. And also, not to mention, enemies have so much utility to retake this site. Playing from the site was a Sudoku move. Next round. We were AFK. That was the main problem. Better angle clearing. Better team play. And in post-plant, you need to adapt yourself based on the numbers. And based on utility and guns. Now, in the second round, contesting the enemies on mid is a complete suicide on Ascent. I mean, you can do it. It's usually a suicide. So I would just recommend you, if you lose the first round of Ascent, fireman push A or fireman push B. And try to see how enemies are going to respond, how they're going to play, so that we can counter them in the future rounds. And with the Sage, you know, here, because he has 2,700 credits, I would buy a Sheriff, and I would buy the Wall. And I still have money for Heavy Shield and Vandal in the next round. Like, I would definitely buy a Sheriff in this round and force up the Sheriff. Because he has the money for that and a Heavy Shield in the next round. Where's the... Oh, resolution changed. But it's not that better, no? I mean, this was a stupid buy option, man. If you already have money for Sheriff, why the fuck would you buy a Ghost in this round? And fuck the Slorps. I buy the Sheriff, buy the Wall, and that's it. I mean, to be honest, you had money for everything. No, you didn't have money. Fuck the Ghost, man. Like, the waste of money in this round. At least in rank solo queue. And once again, I don't know what you're doing on the attacker side. I don't know, like, what you're watching on a second monitor. But you're gonna be AFK in these rounds, man. You know. Enemies have a Phoenix. If you don't use the brain for your teammates are not gonna use the brain for them. They don't have a brain. That's the problem. Like, you have a enemy Phoenix on a defender side of Ascent. 99% of times, Phoenix players are gonna go for this Molly Flash play. How do we counter that? By baiting the shit of our allies. So, if enemies are not doing a one-way smoke in aim and area of the map, simply jump on top here, basically on top of this shit. You can do a silent jump as well, like here, get up here, hide here. When the Phoenix is going for the Molly Flash, you peek out, kill the Phoenix, save the life of your teammates. Enemies are doing a one-way, and your teammates still want to push in. Do a jiggle throw of the slow orb, and push with the slow orb. It's okay. Deny the enemy's peek. With the slow orbs, you should always be denying the enemy's peaks from the angles where you think your teammates can die. You're pushing beam and area on the map. You think enemies with an AWP might kill you or kill your teammates. Fuck it. Chuck it down there. Now he cannot peek. Move in. You think your teammates are gonna die from some peek on A short. Chuck that shit on A short. Move mid. Like, that's how you should be supporting your teammates with slow orbs in the main areas of the map. Now, when you're exiting the sites, of course, you're using the slow orbs at the choke points. Or on the angles where you saw the enemies. Just to deny the space and peeks from them. Like doing this is okay. Pardon me, doing that. Doing this. How did that happen, bro? Like, what the fuck? Doing this. Doing that. Doing the slow orb behind the site. Here, when you're pushing in, doing this shit. Just when you're doing the slow orb in short, make sure you're not doing this, you know, like where I cannot go for the switch. I can do it a bit deeper, like there. That's okay. Then close it, move in. You're pushing, I don't know, B site. Obviously. We're doing the slow orbs for the market, for the CT, or doing the slow orbs for the CT and stairs. And then moving in. And also, like, you know, whenever enemies give you... Whenever your push is getting stalled or stopped, when you're playing Sage, try to maybe surprise the enemies with some kind of a wall behind the smoke. Like, basically, in a lot of scenarios, when your push is getting stopped in the aiming area of the map, boosting your teammates on top of this wall will grant you a kill. And will surprise the enemies. You just tell your teammates to stand here, you put a wall, you're probably gonna get like 1 or 2 kills in this elo. Even in high elo lobbies, like, it works, like, from time to time. Here as well, in the B-man, we can do the same shit, essentially. And see the enemies in market, and CT as well. Of course, we can do it, the wall, here as well. But if we are if you are way too repetitive with this wall, we just, you know, change it a bit. So, adapt yourself based on what type of enemies you have, what type of teammates you have, and you'll be totally fine. But please, you know, Pornhub later. Winning the game now. I don't know why you're running away here. You should have actually tried contesting this Phoenix. Because there's only one guy pushing aim and area of the map. That's maybe the only solo fight and a clean fight that you're gonna get this round. Like, I would not be afraid to take that duel. Because right now, if he pinches us, and enemies pinch us from mid tiles and bottom mid, we are cooked. Robin cooked. Okay. Okay. I'm sitting around. Now listen. Whenever enemies are playing bonus, eco, hell by round, on a defender side of Ascent, 5-man push A site. In all of the lobbies below Immortal 3, 5-man push A site. Don't fight for anything else. Period. No matter what type of team composition enemies have. Also, man, he's like, I don't know. You know, needless to say, I don't know why he muted his teammates. I don't know why his teammates are muted. You need to communicate a bit more. I mean, in these low elo lobbies, 50% of times, people are gonna listen to you, 50% of times they're not gonna listen to you. In these lobbies, navigating your teammates on a micro level is sometimes almost impossible. Most of the times it's impossible. But on a macro level, you know, there's a 50% of chance your teammates are gonna listen when you tell them what to do. Where to go, at least. But letting your teammates do whatever the fuck they want, even if it is a bad play, I mean, not really the most optimal way to grind Valorant. And the only time when you should be fully muting your teammates is if your teammates are really giving zero useful comms. Literally the whole game your teammates are toxic and they don't say anything valuable. Sure, you know, mute them. But even when you mute them, speak to them. You know, give them the info. One enemy left, one enemy right. Hey guys, let's go A, let's go B. Give them the comms and just keep them muted. If they listen, they listen. If they're toxic, you don't hear them. Win-win, essentially. But in this round, going mid, a bit of a suicide. Okay, that was an interesting kill. We need to follow up that Reyna. Listen, even if when your teammates are doing the bad plays, you should follow up their plays. You should not fully suicide yourself with your allies, but you should be close enough, you know, with them, so that you're able to maybe refrag them or potentially get a kill if they die. And listen, #1 rule of picking up the orbs in Valorant. You pick up the orbs only when there's nothing better for you to do and when it is safe picking up that orb. Or if you really, really need it for your ultimate. In every other case scenario, you focus on gunfights and playing with your allies. Rotations, executes, whatever. Your Reyna and Jet are in the enemy smoke. You're picking up the orb. Brother, like in a 5v3 scenario, crazy stuff. Too big of a gap between you and most aggressive teammates. They can die instantly on sight because enemies still have 2 sentinels alive. Both of them can die like this, and now we are 3 versus 3 from this numbers advantage. This might cost us. Thankfully, they didn't push that fast, but it could have been worse. And anyways, like, listen, I truly believe that like 70-80% of times when you're pushing Ascent and you're playing Sage, just do this wall to support your allies. Especially if you're pushing against enemies that have a sentinel on the site that is playing off of his setup. Because above this smoke, you're able to see that guy, this guy, this guy, and maybe even find the gaps here. So if Cypher is playing on the A site with his setup, you can potentially support your teammates like this in a bit more aggressive way. When you're pushing the A site, I mean, you know, doing this wall here is sometimes okay in eco and halberd rounds. Let's just look at the minimap, place the wall like this. You know, if you want to isolate only these duels, like with a Stinger, Sheriff, Bucky, shit like that, and then slowly take the bomb site, it's okay sometimes. This wall here is most of the times an absolute dog shit that you should never do. Like, it is never worth it placing this wall. So, you know, most of the walls that you place are the walls for the post plant. But only God knows if, you know, in these first 3 to 4 rounds, we're gonna get enough post plant at all. And now, okay. We know that enemy Raze is A, enemy Cypher is A. As long as we play together, we win this. Holy fucking shit, this is so bad, man. This is the worst case scenario that could have happened to us. That's why you need to speak to your allies a bit more. Like, at least try. But basically, these days, I'm not really playing Valorant seriously. I have lost all of the willpower to give a call out, to communicate with my allies. I don't give a shit. But if you're serious, I got Radiant 23 times. But if you want to get Radiant for the first time, you will have to speak more. Like, try to micro-correct your teammates, try to tell them what to do on a macro level. 50% of times, they're not gonna listen. 50% of times, they are gonna listen. But here, in this example here, one guy market, one guy short, 2 of us B main. Horrible scenario for us in a 4v3 situation. What? Why you didn't destroy that, like, nanos from earlier? And also, you know, when you were pushing here, like, crosshair, you know, we needed to check this angle deeper. We needed to check the locks on the right side. You cannot pull the knife out. We have no fucking idea where is the Killjoy. She can be market. She can be CT, stairs, like. While you were running for this switch, you needed to have your gun out, placed at the CT, essentially. And then, once you did the switch, do the wall for CT, we block the CT, we disallow our Phoenix to go for a solo play, we block the market as well, we delay the enemy's time for the retake, and we take the bomb site control for free. Also, you know, with your utility, you can navigate your teammates as well. You know? Basically, with the one-way smokes, you disallow your teammates to go for a peek. With the walls, you disallow your teammates to go somewhere. So, even if they get mad, who gives a fuck? If that, you know, piece of utility preserved their life, and it was a good play, fuck it. But here, allowing this Phoenix to go into CT is so stupid. Okay, now, you know, as long as we play together on a refrag potential, we win this, like, Cypher can be either B main or mid, and that's it, like, okay. Now, in this round as well, like, enemies have a really, really good team composition. To stop our pushes, like, we need to do some kind of a split. We need to fight for mid control first. Okay. Here, we need to give a call out to our controller. Hey, Clove, we're taking the mid control. Can you pretty please smoke this? If our controller is not smoking that, you need to do a slow orb for the A short area of the map. Immediately now. To prevent that peek from the enemies as we're clearing the bottom mid. We need to follow up the jet. We need to play a bit faster. Now, when you're doing this split from mid-market to B-side, most of the times it is the best idea to wall the CT area of the map here. The top mid. I mean, the market mid. Like, in the CT, anyways, we should have a smoke. We can do the slow orbs to prevent enemies from peeking us there. But risking getting backstab from the smoke here is not worth it. So just place the wall there as soon as your teammates reach close to the market. So they cannot die in some kind of a crossfire. Like your teammates are here, do this. And let's move in. Then, as we're executing a site, we can do the slow orbs for the speedway. We can do the slow orbs for the CT. And now we move in. Hopefully we're gonna have a smoke for the CT here. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. Oh no 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 no. And also, you know, this split onto the B side needs to be much faster. Like it took us 25 seconds to get onto this position here. Why? How? Enemies had zero utility on mid and market. There was no one in the enemy team defending the market and pizza. How are we not yet in the market? You know how? Because we don't have a wall to navigate our teammates. Like, you're basically an architect. You're basically an architect when you're playing Sage. Like, you can easily navigate your teammates to push through certain areas of the maps, through certain directions. Like, you're playing Command and Conquer, essentially, you know, generals, bro. Like Matrix. Like, here. As soon as we reach the pizza, wall that, let's move in. Go, 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 go. We don't need to spend any more time here. And also, you know, you should not be standing here. You should be going into the market, and from the market taking this type of fight without being overexposed from 3 different angles. Like you're taking this fight in the CT while being exposed from, you know, this position, and back. You don't want to spend in these areas of the map more than 2-3 seconds maximum. The push was slow. It could have been much faster. Use your wall to navigate your teammates in a certain direction. Be an architect, you know? Fuck it. Like there's no reason for your teammates to be mad if you wall this position. You know? You prevent them from taking stupid fights. You prevent them from going into stupid areas of the map. And we go for the proper place. And the proper play here was, after we got that 1 kill, basically here, we move in. We got done. There's only Killjoy on the B side. Cypher is A player. Phoenix is A player. Clove is A player. Killjoy and Raze are the B players. Now, in this situation, we killed the Phoenix. So that means that we can expect Raze also around the B side. But it doesn't matter. In the worst case scenario, we're fighting only 2 enemies on site. As long as we escape this area of the map as soon as possible. She gonna win this? Clutch Minister? Nah. Okay. Okay. Overall economy management of this guy is okay. You know, as I said in the tracker review, he can have a bit better weapon versatility because sometimes it doesn't really make sense what he's buying, but yeah, Karamichi, welcome to stream, brother. How are you today, bro? Let's see what we do now. Okay, our teammates wanna push mid. Let's peek it with them. Okay. We need to go mid here, to be honest. We need to move. We need to move. Brother, listen, like, I mean, if your teammates, if you don't have any smokes for mid, and your teammates are pushing this, you needed to be close to that Reyna. Like, not even Jesus can refrag that Reyna right now. And you need to navigate your teammates a bit more. Like, I don't know why you muted them. I forgot if they did something at the start of the VOD. But try to tell them, hey guys, I'm gonna suck all of your cocks. Let's win this game. Hey guys, I'm gonna buy you 3 Valorant points if you listen to me. Lie to them. Play poker games with them, you know? I don't know. Like, Clove, we're pushing mid, from top mid. We want to go short. Can you please give us a smoke for mid? And Clove is going to be like, that's going to be 50 euros in Valorant points. You're going to be like, okay, man, thank you a lot. I don't know, man. It's really hard playing Valorant without the comms. Like, I mean, even when my teammates are mega toxic, I don't mute them. Because I'm still going to give them the info what to do, and if they listen, they listen. If they don't listen, whatever. Like, and also, whenever you give some kind of a comm to your allies, always be ready that they're not gonna go through that comm, through that call out. Like, whenever you give some comm, for the first 2, 3, or 4 seconds of that comm, pay attention to the minimap. If your teammates are actually following through. Because if they're not following through, then you need to adapt yourself based on what they're doing. Also, listen here, like, whenever you're splitting the, I mean, this was okay. This was okay. Just once again, you're way too slow, like, compared to what your most aggressive teammates are doing. You need to be a bit faster. You need to be there to support them. You know, this 2-3 split was completely fine. Just, you had to be there for your Jet and Reyna to play with them. You're mega slow here. Mega slow. Okay. Okay. This is a bad play for an example. Like, whenever you're in the numbers disadvantage, and one enemy is isolated from the rest of their team, take that fight. Those are the fights that you need to take. You know? Like here, walling this off. Not a good play. Like, basically, now we're just stuck. We have nowhere to go. And 4 enemies with a raised ultimate can just fall down onto us at any moment of time. I mean, 3 enemies. Like here, instead of this wall, I would have went for some aggro wall play, essentially, you know. Basically, I would have done this. Kill the Killjoy. And now, go back towards the Jet. We still have this opening to rotate towards the B side. And after we get one more kill, we can try to see. Do we want to go back to pick up the spike through main, or we want to push through the A short? But now we just cack blocked ourselves. Okay, that's actually good. Okay, we know that all 3 enemies are here. Not bad. Very good. Okay, almost. Nice try. Nice try. I would have taken that short fight even if the raise was there. Like, I would have tried to take 1 kill before we move forward. It's okay. I don't know why you're starting so late in the rounds, man. You have such a huge latency. Like, your teammates are here, you are here. Like, what? Okay, I mean, in this round, like, what I would have bought, Heavy Shield and Sheriff is fine, but I would have bought the wall as well. Because once again, that wall play behind the smoke, might get me a kill and might get me an opening for my team. I mean, without the wall, when you're playing Sage, you're mega static. You cannot really reach any positions to fuck up the enemies or outplay them. And then you just rely on your raw mechanical skill to take the kills. And even if he purchased the wall in this round and lost this round, he still has money for like Vandal and Light Shield in the next round. Or Phantom and Light Shield. And if he gets a kill, he can purchase a Vandal and Heavy Shield. Phantom and Heavy Shield. You know, this is what I'm talking about, you know, like, basically if your teammates are not good at executing sites, we need to start doing some weird walls. Like maybe walls to block the enemy's vision on the site, walls to push together with our allies on top of it, walls above the enemy's smokes. You're playing Sage. Very static, you rely on your allies a lot. And anyways, like, in this match, against this enemy's team composition, we need to fight. We need to do the splits. Like, just doing a 5-man pushes on A and B. It's gonna be impossible to win this match. Like, whenever enemies have 2 sentinels on a defender side of Ascent, you're forced to fight more for the mid control. And pressure the enemies there. I like how the Phoenix did nothing with that ultimate. Literally nothing. Listen, in this example, something really interesting happened. We killed the Cypher. And the Cypher is the A player. So enemies don't have a Sentinel's utility active on A site. This round, right now, is the perfect moment of time to cut the noise for 20 seconds and re-hit the bomb site. And use this 20-second rule. We have dead bodies of our teammates on A site. We have the Clove ultimate. Enemies don't have Sentinel's utility on the site. Rotating anywhere else in this round is a suicide move. And in this elo, I guarantee you, if you use a 20-second rule, you will win more rounds than if you're doing some pointless, stupid rotations. Especially if you kill the enemy Sentinel that is playing that site. There's a huge chance that enemies are gonna rotate back. You know, that Killjoy is gonna go B. Raze is gonna go mid. And then you're just fighting Phoenix and Clove on A site and A short. Rotating now towards the B side. That's another Sudoku move. My dude, full-on kamikaze gameplay. Because this is gonna happen, you know? Like, every rotation that you do in Valorant, on attacker side, holds a certain level of risk that your teammates are not gonna clear the angles properly, not gonna have a proper utility usage on the opposite part of the map, and a proper pathing and positioning. But, if we cut the noise for 20 seconds, we keep our teammates in check, we try to mentally outplay the enemies, and that will give you higher chances of winning these type of rounds. Now, to be honest here, I would just save this weapon because our economy is shit. I would not even try to win this round, to be honest. We have a Heavy Shield Vandal. You should have just completely sold this Clove, go into the spawn and try to take some solo kills and stay alive. Some rounds are simply unwinnable at a certain point. We still have like 3 more opportunities. Once again, I don't know where you're starting your rounds, bro. Is my guy traveling from Haven to Ascent, like, mentally? How are these two guys there, and you're here? How are you not ready to refrag them and play with them? And we'll look at this. We know they have a Phoenix. Phoenix players always, like, whenever you're playing against a pop flash character in a game, you need to play anti-fucking flash setup. How do we do that in the B main area of the map? I've showcased you in A main. Push with your allies. I actually didn't showcase you in A main. Like, play up here. Wait for your teammates to be here, and then drop down. But if enemy flashes your allies, you peek out, you take a kill. B-man, you need to push faster. Sorry, not sorry. Like, you need to be here. Your teammates are taking a duel. They're pushing. Until your teammates reach this position, you're playing here. And just getting ready for a pop flash. Once your teammates start doing this, you are going out of this cover and supporting your allies. Come on, man. Like we lost once again. Two of these idiots. I mean, it is their fault that their brain is small, but these type of plays you need to compensate. If you want to rank up from these lobbies. Like, basically, when you're playing in low elo, medium elo, from Iron 1 to Immortal 3, you cannot only think for yourself, you need to think for your allies as well. You need to take down the notes like, where are my teammates dying? How can I support them? How can I prevent those deaths if they already don't want to listen to me? And what can I do? You cannot only focus on what enemies are doing or what you want to do. You should have had a bit better angle clearing here. You know? Like, we should have cleared this angle and these angles a bit deeper. Who told you that Phoenix is not there? I don't know. And this revive was mega risky because, like, Raze has the ultimate. Phoenix has another flash. Raze and Phoenix are playing B side. We're cooked. Like, going for these two revives was just pointless. Like, it would be much better if you just turn your focus on mid and try to search for some solo picks and open a map alone. Now, generally speaking, if you notice on the attacker side that team play is not possible anymore, search for solo opportunities to potentially kill the enemies yourself and open a certain part of the map yourself. These are the games where you should start lurking, flanking a bit more, and playing alone. Enemies are never contesting us. In market and A short. Let's try to see if we can maybe backstab the enemies in market and A short before our teammates start dying. If we're already not using our brain to, like, counter the enemy's place in B-min and A-min and to support our teammates' executes, let's go for some solo plays. Once again, the guy spent the whole, like, attacker side in the spawn, man. He didn't even buy anything here. Listen, in Valorant, 3 or more of your teammates are forced buying. You buy with them. 3 or more. You cannot save. It's pointless. It's okay what he's doing here. He's playing solos, trying to search for the solo picks, but he needs to be a lot faster. And he's not fast because he started the round in the spawn. We need to move here. I don't know about this, we'll see. Maybe we get a kill, but you know, we never actually saw the enemies pushing behind us through main areas of the map. You know, we never saw the enemies backstabbing us through B-min or backstabbing us through A-min. The only thing that enemies do, they do rotations through mid and CT. And that's the information you have. And that is why, like, basically, you need to self-reflect more in between the rounds. Ask yourself, how did we lose the round? What was the problem? How can we fix this problem? What are the enemies doing? How are they positioning themselves? What are my teammates doing? How are they dying? How are the enemies playing on a macro and micro level? What can we do to counter them? But I think you're just randomly playing the game however the fuck you want. Just based on your feeling. Fuck with the feelings, man. You don't have the feelings until you reach Radiant. Now listen. We're gonna fix that with some training. We need to move here. It's pointless sitting here. Like, you need to move much earlier. Because your team has started dying, like... Basically, that Clove pushed us through A main onto top mid. But you could have already been in the market, backstabbing the enemies and supporting your allies before that Clove did this play. Now we are alone. Now in this 1v2, like... Personally, I would probably go through the CT. I would not go through the market here. Yeah, this is okay play. This is an okay play. Okay. Okay. We need to check the angles better now. Check the left side. Okay. Enemies have a spike. Okay. I mean, like, once you saw this smoke, in this silo, chances are really low that enemies are actually playing in B-main instead of that smoke. They have a spike on site, like, I don't know why would they play in the B-main, to be honest. Once you saw that, you should have, like, moved a bit faster because you didn't have time to, like, to do that. Oh, let's see this. Is that even the angle that they just spam? Is it that one? Oh, it is, I guess. Sorry, like, I'm just checking, like, I didn't do this spam for a long period of time. Okay. I mean, interesting idea, but too much of a gamble, like, if your teammates were pushing B set in this round, it's okay, try. I can appreciate this play. I can appreciate it. But since our teammates are fighting for mid control, finally something that we should have started doing a long time ago, because they have like 2 fucking sentinels. Vandal, heavy shield. Let's take the short control. Let's pressure the enemies in market. Let's split something. But I appreciate this play. That was mega unlucky. It's really good that he's watching for that lurk and flank. That's why I was not giving him any shit, because enemies have been pushing that a lot. Almost every round, like, the Clove pushed that, and I would have expected a Clove there. But that was mega unlucky timing. Can we heal this Jet? Finally, yeah. Well, if you didn't lose the match until now this round is completely lost. Now your Jet's mentality is like, you know, even if you win this round, the match is over, basically. The match is over. Oh, not like it now. Sigma, bro. Sigma, man. Sigma move, bro. Fucking Sigma move, man. Andrew Tate playing Valorant, bro. We're waiting for another heal, but we don't have time to wait, bro. Like, we need to move here. We need to move. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's see here. So, first of all, I would recommend you to follow my advices that I have given you throughout the tracker review. Like, already during the tracker review, we kind of noticed what are your problems, and that even though you have a high win rate on Sage, I think it is more, you have it more not because you're a good Sage player or Sage works for you, it's just you're mechanically better than a lot of these players. I would personally play other agents if I was you. You know, like Jet, Omen, Chamber, like whatever works for you. At this moment of time, you can experiment a bit, of course. Like, but the agents that, with which you had a pretty high win rate, I think with the Jet you had a high win rate. Like, just master the Jet. Like, your grind up to Immortal 3 is going to be 10 times easier. Just to prevent these type of shenanigans. But that doesn't mean that you cannot carry with Sage. You can carry. But the problem is, like, you're not carrying. Like, you're not using aggressive walls. You're not using aggressive setups. You're not supporting your teammates with your utility. You're not creating weird setups to surprise the enemies. Your gun versatility is shit. Your follow-up to your allies is bad. You need to fix these small things that are ruining your win percentage. Like, we need to play Sage in a bit more creative way, essentially. Not a default stupid way. You know, like, place a wall here, stop the enemies pushing, that's it. Fuck that. You know, navigate your teammates with a wall. Pick the enemies with different wall setups. Behind, above, stuff like that. Like, way too boring, man. Way too boring. And this boring playstyle is not always gonna work. At some point, you will be Harstack. Right now, you're not Harstack. He is not Harstack. He just started playing Valorant last act. He got Platinum 1 with 100 hours. That's good. But trust me, if you continue playing the game in this way, and Sage as well, maximum Diamond, you know, or low Ascendant, and then you're gonna stay there for a couple of months, maybe a few years as well. Fix your mistakes now. Map awareness, bad. Reading the enemies, okay, could be better on a defender side. Attacker side, mega bad. Reading what your teammates are doing, mega bad as well. You need to focus more on the whole game and not only on yourself. Especially need to focus more on what your teammates are doing and trying to compensate their mistakes. Take the notes, mental or physical. My teammates are dying every time they push A from the Phoenix Flash and Molotov. I need to support them with the anti-flash system or by dropping the slow orb at the choke point and preventing the enemy Phoenix from peeking my teammates. I cannot push into the bomb site with my allies, they have 2 sentinels. I need to use the walls, aggressive walls, to peek the enemies together with my allies and to support them from above, essentially. Then, you self-heal yourself a lot. I mean, sometimes that's good, you know, but your heal can be much more efficient. But where you're really struggling with your efficiency is the wall usage. You need to be more creative with it. You know, think outside of the box. I've showcased you a few examples how to do that, but there's many more ways. You know, just watch Grim for an example. He has millions of wall setups. And majority of these wall setups are actually good and will work 80% of times in the lobbies below Immortal 3. Now, what I'm gonna do for you, you will get training to fix majority of these problems. You will get one specific aim training routine so that we keep you on a good track mechanically, because obviously this is not your skill ceiling. You can get much better. And you're going to get some private coaching videos from me that will explain better team play, and that will just change your mindset in Valorant in a good direction. And that's it. What I expect from you, I expect you to reach Ascendant 1 until February 2025. I think that should be a piece of cake for you. Like, you have 3 months to go from Platinum 1 to Ascendant 1. I think it should be a piece of cake for you. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for watching this VOD review. Leave a like, subscribe, all of the good stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me which VOD review you want to see next. Omen on Abyss, maybe? Huh? Pearl, Jet, Raze, Reyna, Yoru. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Make sure to join my Discord server for private coaching, for the ranked playbook. That's really important. For giveaways, community custom games. Right now, I have a giveaway that I'm going to be making for Valorant points and coaching. And tune into my daily streams. When I say daily, I mean like from Monday to Friday. To witness me losing my mental health in Valorant. Most of the time. Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes, not funny. Sometimes you learn something. We'll see. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.